Karma does her job better than you think. Harry's spare book receives a divine blow. Hello and a warm welcome to our Royal Family News YouTube channel. So today I read that Harry is trying to apply more pressure to let the royal family know that they need to apologize for Meghan. I can only assume he wants them to apologize for calling the press to give them information. And then right after that, he says he has enough material for a new book with things he took from the first book. Ugh, well, I hope no one supports the blackmail. Harry truly did the unforgivable. He crossed a line that should never be crossed. You see, I am personally part of William's team. I don't know about all of you, but I think you're like me. Now, in that little fight that Harry claims happened at Notcott, where Prince William allegedly lost his temper and pushed Harry to the ground, personally, I'm rooting for William in that one. I think anyone who has a sibling knows that sometimes they just need a little common sense. And I have no doubt that William made the right decision when he decided to scold his little brother. There are many reasons why I support William and Catherine in all of this. I mean, Meghan and Harry are ultimately just a few idiots. I'm much more surprised that Harry called his therapist after William allegedly assaulted him than the incident itself. After arguing with his brother, really? So Harry would have gone from killing Islamists in Afghanistan to calling his therapist because his brother dared to break his necklace. I mean, if I had to see a therapist every time I had an argument with one of my siblings, I would have spent a lot of my teens and even my 20s on a therapist's couch. But I never really got into all that psychopathic nonsense, so I did what most people do when they argue with their siblings. I would talk to my best friends about it, and they would usually say, "You know what, Beverly, I feel like you need to go talk to them." And that's exactly what we would do. We talked about it and sometimes we talked a little more. But eventually, we would make peace and remember that we loved each other, and at least William and Catherine retain their dignity in all this chaos. But whiny Harry seems to have lost his. However, Spare is a book that caused a sensation even before its official publication. And it contains all sorts of scandals about Harry's life. For someone who is supposed to value his privacy, Harry loves to spill the beans. There are people I've known for decades whose first sexual encounter still remains a mystery to me. And I'm happy about it. Personally, I don't like knowing this information about people. But here Harry tells us about the time a woman took his virginity and then slapped me on the butt, he says. Who exactly was the ghostwriter in this book? I know it was supposed to be J.R. Moringer, but it just doesn't seem like something he would be willing to write. I also can't help but wonder how Harry would feel if his brother, for example, revealed some of his deepest secrets. He would complain about an invasion of his privacy, we know that, but I imagine he thinks it's fair to do so to members of his own family. Harry is truly trash. And the truth is, anyone who served in the military could tell a few stories about the people they served or trained with, but they never would. So I think that before long some of Harry's former colleagues may call out his behavior in the military if he continues to behave this way. It has also been reported in the British press that some members of Harry's class at Sandhurst have already spoken out to refute Harry's claim that they were trained to treat the enemy as nothing more than numbers and that they were not encouraged to treat the enemy as people. Now, in Harry's words, "They trained me well." So Harry's former colleagues claim that in reality, the opposite is true. They say that in reality, they have been trained to treat the enemy with respect, whether they are dead or injured. That they will always be human beings, just like us, and that they will deserve to be treated with great respect. I still don't know how far someone can really sink, but I imagine Harry will keep doing it until he hits rock bottom. Harry revealed many secrets that were not his place to reveal. He told secrets about his father and stepmother. She talks about her and William's worry about Charles's marriage to Camilla. That they feared she would prove to be a bad mother-in-law. And this shows how exasperated Charles was with his children's argument. So basically Spare is the middle finger in response to this call from his father. I mean, imagine how your father would feel if you decided to write a book and quote his most intimate, most painful thoughts. I don't know about your dad, but mine would go completely crazy. he'd probably stalk me too. Harry says he wants his father and brother back in his life. Okay, Harry, so why the hell did you write this miserable memoir exposing their failures to the world? Maybe you should meet them instead, have a drink with them, talk man to man. And don't bring those Netflix cameras with you either. In my opinion, the worst thing about Meghan and Harry is that they refuse to take responsibility for their behavior. Everything must always be someone else's fault. I guess they believe it's just a coincidence that drama and conflict seem to accompany them everywhere they go. Apparently in Harry's book he even mentions that William and Catherine encouraged him to wear that Nazi uniform. Come on, Harry, no one will believe it. Just admit your mistakes. It seems Harry has really gone full Hollywood. I mean, funny old Harry, who later enlisted for military service, is now transformed into a self-pitying celebrity who gets very emotional when he receives a text message from Beyoncé. Now, at one point, feuding royals lined up armies and clashed in muddy fields, but now, I imagine, they are writing tear-stained memoirs about their hurt feelings. In what world are we living? The main reason I support William in all of this is because Harry did something that should never be forgiven. He broke the unwritten code that brothers never talk about their tensions with others. Now, of course, in the end all the brothers are going to get angry and fight. Brotherly fighting is nothing new, but what is new is telling everyone about it. This is the most private form of conflict, linked to all types of emotions, including love. And this is something you never reveal to the world. What happens between brothers really should stay between brothers, and all brothers understand that. I guess Harry wanted to shock us all with what William would do to him, but what's really shocking is that Harry is telling us about it. I mean, pushing your brother, even pushing him into a dog bowl, is a normal thing in my opinion. But it's certainly not normal to make a spectacle of your brother in front of the whole world. Harry betrayed his older brother in a way that will likely deepen their divide considerably. I guess any man who has a brother really has feelings for William right now. Siblings don't report other siblings, especially when it comes to family issues. But that's the big problem. Dignity. Harry doesn't have one. Everything always revolves around him, everyone is at fault when he makes a move. The vile duo clings to these royal titles with an unroyal claw, but has no dignity. And these problems don't just affect siblings. I think a brother and sister pair can have this too. Now, in the case of the royal family, I see it with Anne, the Princess Royal and her brother Charles. He's king now, of course. And I think I can see it too. And Prince George and his sister, Princess Charlotte. So, God bless all the brothers and sisters who truly appreciate the special bonds that bind them to each other. This is truly a sacred relationship. No wonder the book exploded in Harry's face. She imagined he would feel sympathy for the fact that William was acting like a tyrant towards him. But the only thing Harry really accomplished was making us all horrified that he dared to publish it. Not only did Harry share details about arguments with his brother, but he also shared personal details about William's anatomy, which is absolutely nobody's business. How could Harry claim that the printed word is not offensive, but the media reprinting those same words is offensive? And you know what? Harry's sexual history is downright disturbing, disgusting, and I never wanted to know that much about him. I'm just glad there doesn't seem to be any way for Harry to try and grab the crown. Harry is a complete idiot and married a narcissist, and that narcissist turned him into a whole new devil. And interestingly, where is this narcissist right now? It seems to have disappeared. And I don't think there will be any reconciliation in the future for Harry and William. Harry will find himself alone in the cold and no one will be there to help him. And you, do you agree with the views of my video? If so, please like and share it with anyone who might enjoy it. If not, tell us why and we'll talk about Harry and the royal family too. And subscribe to the Royal Family News channel to support us even more. Now, thank you very much for listening, goodbye, and I'll come back and see you tomorrow.